Hello there. If you can put down today's title, which is Legislation of Creative Media Production, copy down those keywords, and then we are going to get going. So in today's lesson, as I said previously in a different video, we are looking at legislation, and this is all UK-based legislation. Other countries will have different forms of legislation. You want to make sure that you're thinking about it for the right countries, but as I said, all these pieces of legislation are to do with the United Kingdom. So the first piece of legislation we are looking at is data protection. You can see there the 8 principles of data protection within the United Kingdom. If we are thinking about creating a piece of creative media, so for example a web forum or something where we are taking in people's data, we need to make sure we are complying with those 8 pieces of those 8 statements that we've got there. So if we are running a web forum, we need to make sure that the information that we are storing when someone signs up, that when someone registers, that we are focusing and conforming to those 8 statements. If we can't, businesses get fined a lot of money if they are breaching data protection, if they are losing pieces of information, or even if their websites get attacked or their databases get attacked and the information gets stolen. So you want to make sure that if we're holding data, we're storing data, that we're treating it as safely as possible and following those 8 statements there. Privacy is really important. When we are thinking about creating a product, we want to make sure we're following any privacy laws which might be in place. So for example, a client might ask you to sign something which is called a non-disclosure agreement, and that's basically an agreement which you sign, and you say any information you get, anything that you create, you won't share that with anybody else. And privacy is really important. Again, if we go back to the web forum idea, you want to make sure that people's privacy is not disturbed. So you might think about not linking things through to email addresses, for example. But web privacy, media privacy, privacy in general is really important. The other area we're going to look at before we crack on with task 1 is defamation. And defamation takes place where someone makes a statement about someone which may or may not be true. So for example, in the media there have been different cases where celebrities have said something about one another which haven't been true, which is defamation. If you were to publish a rumour in a newspaper or put something online saying something which isn't true, that's defamation. So again, we can see here Mr. A is a corrupt person. He has so many properties. Where he gets the money from if it's not because he's corrupted? So when we're thinking about defamation, it's slander. It's making someone look at someone in a different light. And again, we can see with a nice picture of the birds at the top there, that might be defamation taking place there because you don't know what the birds are talking about the bird on the right hand side. So what I want you to do is pause the video and I want you to answer these questions that we've got here. You'll have to do some research for this one. I suggest that you fire up the BBC website and then you can search for the key terms on there. So for example, defamation, data protection, and then we can get the examples that we're going to need for question 4. So give the video a pause and then we will crack on with the next section of work. So what we're going to look at now as a couple of areas of legislation when we're creating products. We've got certification and classification. And these two are really intertwined. So if we're thinking about certification, we're thinking about a rating for it. U, PG, 12, 18, 15. Age classifications. If we're thinking about the PEGI classifications, certifications as well, we're looking at the ratings there, what things are going to be involved with them. When a movie gets classified, that is done by a company. So for example, in the UK, it's the British Board of Film Classification. You will normally see that appear if you go to the cinema. At the beginning of it, it will say this is to certify insert movie name here. It's classified with this sort of classification that you can see there. And again, Netflix do it as well. So when you go onto Netflix and you go to load up, it will give you any information there around certification and classification. And when we're thinking about this, if something has got an age rating, for example, of 18, it means it's only suitable for people of that age and over. that doesn't just apply to movies, it applies to video games, it applies to any sort of media. If it's got an age rating with it, it's a legal requirement. If someone purchases something for someone underage, so if someone goes to a shop to buy someone else alcohol, alcohol's got a particular age rating. If someone is underage, they can be fined, they can be potentially arrested. It's exactly the same thing when we're thinking about these movie certifications we can see there. If someone goes to buy an 18 rated game for someone under the age of 18, they are breaking the law. And when if we're creating something, we want to make sure that what we are creating is suitable for the age range. So for example, if you're creating a book for small children to read as their first book they can read aloud, we're not going to have 18 rated images within it. Or if we're going to create a video game for children to teach them how to do simple maths, we're not going to be expecting them to have any bad language in there or drugs in there, because it's not suitable. The other area we're going to be thinking about is the use of copyrighted material and intellectual property. If someone has created something, as we saw in a previous video, and they've got their copyright, you can ask for permission to use it. You can say, can I use your copyrighted material? Can I use a track that you've created as a backing music on one of my videos? Can I use a picture that you have drawn as the album art for my upcoming album? If they say yes, they might say, yeah, we can do that, but we want some money for it. That's fine. You can then go ahead and use it. And the same thing with intellectual property. If you ask for permission and they say yes, that's fine, we can use it. If they say no, we can't. There's also a piece of not a piece of legislation, but it's an area which is called Creative Commons licensing. And what Creative Commons licensing means, I can create an image, I can then upload it, and then I can say anyone can use it so long as they say that's my image. Or they can edit it, but as long as they say to view the original, click here. So it's a way of allowing people to use things that you have created in a legal way that protects the person who's created it, but then also allows other people to be able to use it. So, task 2, we've got the 3 questions there, and again, jump onto the good old BBC website to get your examples. Bonus points if we are including Creative Commons. That's how you're going to get your top marks from me with this piece of work. And then give the video a pause, and then we're going to answer today's key question. So today's key question, you've seen at the bottom of the screen, what legislation is applicable when creating media products. Don't just give me a list of, oh, these are the different pieces of legislation that are applicable. Go into town with them, talk to me about them, show off your knowledge. Use the work that we've done today to be able to help you. I hope this has been useful for you. I look forward to seeing your work, and I shall see you later. Bye-bye.